I do think there's definitely something to this faith, as it were, that we can understand the world. But at the same time, there's this tendency whereby in trying to understand, we also want to capture, we want to master, we want to categorize, and so that everything is in its own little box, and so that we feel like we've got a grip on things. And the world, it's almost like it knows we're trying to do that. It's like it knows, and so it's always just making itself a little bit more fluid, a little bit, more fine grained so that it slips through our fingers, just to keep us on the trail, I suppose. And there's something like that going on with the UAP thing, I think.
Well, this suggestion about it, the trickster element, right, of all of these, when I started hearing about it in the context of psychical research, at the beginning it made me uncomfortable and a bit pissed off, because it's like, all right, so if I'm going to apply the rules of the game here to study this scientifically, but now and then you're going to tell me that there's that thing, it's playing with me. It's like I'm running an experiment, and when I go to the toilet or for a coffee, they go and they mess up with my equipment, right? It's like, come on, that's no game. I cannot play science like that.
Let me give you my conclusion from this weekend of how the whole flying saucer thing worked. I mean, this is just one person's opinion, but this is how I explain it to myself. As you know, in 1947, the Rainier lights appeared, and if you that was the first big modern flying saucer sighting and set off the whole modern flying saucer phenomenon. Well, cast your mind back to the ambiance of 1947. The atom bomb was in 45, the defeat of Germany, the H-bomb was under development, Einstein was advising Truman. I mean, people were on the brink of things they could not understand. Nobody knew what the H-bomb really meant. What does it mean that we can do this? And they said, well, we don't know. Maybe the universe is monitored, and what we're doing is so outrageous that maybe it will bring those who do the monitoring. And then they began to get these reports of these things in the sky and said, my God, this must be it. And there were very high-level government secret commissions set up, and they began to study the flying saucers furiously. And they penetrated all those groups. And they penetrated this flying saucer thing from one end to the other, and I'm talking 47 to, say, 54. And they studied it, and they studied it, and Carl Jung was brought in, and all kinds of people were brought in. And at the end of that period, they concluded that what it was, they actually understood it. They concluded that it was the Cosmic Giggle. They concluded that it was that unreducible nub of nuttiness that haunts reality, and that it was not a threat to the security of North American air defenses. That was their question. Is this a military problem for us? And by 54 or so, they had decided, whatever this is, a linguistic virus, a mass hallucination, of whatever it is not a problem for the military defense of North America. But they had spent millions infiltrating and completely taking over the weirdest group of screwballs you can imagine. The flying saucer, hardcore cultists. And they said, well, these people will believe anything. We know that because we've been to their meetings, we've read their publications. What should we do with them? Should we just withdraw all our agents and let them go back to whatever they were doing? And the answer was no.